Hello and welcome, I am Raziel, and today I want to talk about the Amazon Prime series because some information has come to me and it's free to get, but this was because of something I got wrong in a state comment and someone said actually this is the new statement and I should read it, so I did. But this popped out during that statement and has actually got me a bit more excited about the new Amazon Prime series. Now, what do we know about the Amazon Prime series so far? It's going to be produced by Vertigo Entertainment, which is a good thing. I mean, they make a lot of good films. Some aren't critically acclaimed and are liked by fans but are pretty much hated by critics. Others can be like, hey, we like... Some are pretty good and some are pretty bad. A good example is the It remakes. The first one, Chapter 1, which is fantastic in my opinion. And then, of course, they made the second one, which isn't so good. And there we go. So we know their quality of films are actually pretty high, to be honest with you. Some really good critically acclaimed films here, such as, surprisingly, the Lego movie, the Ninjago movie, Lego Batman, which I really enjoyed. We got the Poltergeist remake. Okay, that's not fantastic. I enjoyed it. And Blair Witch remake, which I enjoyed as well. So, and the Old Boy remake, which is actually considered better than the original. I really like the original. And The Woman in Black. So basically, we know that they are actually good at not making just dark films, because they make a lot of horror. They're also pretty good at making some more kid-friendly films as well. But we're not about the kid-friendly films. We're about the grimy, the dark, the derp, and of course the grim derp as well. Now, of course, Henry Cavill's attached, we know he's a stickler for law, to the point that he didn't want CGI for his Superman role. He actually built up his muscles for that role, which is a massive commitment, and hats off to him. And his statement was, the reason he built up his muscles is that's what Superman would do. And of course, and finally, we know what happened with Witcher, that they wanted to stray away from the law, and he wasn't happy about it. So, basically we know we've got this good company behind it, and it's going to last well, but that doesn't always mean it's a good film. It's always the other half as well. But the actual license holders and their stakers and what they want. We have seen, obviously, when license holders have decided to ruin a film because they didn't like what was happening or how it was made or just pushed it out too quickly. These things are all happen as well. So, I had to read this a couple of times, this statement. And like I said, it is available. It's available on the Games Workshop website. This is an official statement. And this is part of their licensing business. And here we go. It's under media. And I'm going to read it word for word. As we announced on 18th of December 2023, we have signed a contract with Amazon Content Services LLC for the prospective development by Amazon of Warhammer 40,000 universe into films and television series. We remain confident we will bring the worlds of Warhammer to the screen like you have never seen before. Games Workshop and Amazon will work together for a period of 12 months to agree creative guidelines for the films and television series, and to be developed by Amazon. The agreement will only proceed once the creative guidelines are mutually agreed between Games Workshop and Amazon. So that's a statement. So why is this a good thing? First things first, it's focusing on Warhammer 40,000, so we can pretty much say this is going to be the period we're at the moment. It's going to be films and television series, so it's not just going to be the one series or just a couple of films, it's going to be both. We already knew that anyway. And there is a 12-month period that they're going to talk about creative guidelines. Now, first things first, it's pretty much safe to say at this point pitches have been made and everything has been agreed upon on what stories that are wanted to be done have been talked about, and pitches on how it's going to be brought to the TV or streaming via film or series has obviously been made, because that's always the first thing that's done. Pitches are done, and that is the first step of any creative program process when you go to a publisher or producer. That's the first step. And the 12-month period means there's going to be a long time before it even comes out. So we're not even going to start pre-production until the end of this year, until the end of 2023. So we're probably going to see the first episode probably the end of 2024, maybe early 2025. Having a long period of talking about what they want to do means there's lots of room for negotiation, and they can really monitor what is popular within the hobby and what stories are the most talked about. So if we talk about the books that everyone enjoys, or the ones that are usually spoken about most, we'll see Ghost Ghost come up, we'll see Hell's Reach come up, I've seen the Night Lords books come up, and of course the Horus Heresy. Though it does say Warhammer 40,000, so Horus Heresy is probably off the table. That's just my opinion, because they do say Warhammer 40,000. They have very much made it very clear at this point, Horus Heresy is not Warhammer 40,000. So seeing a Warhammer 40,000 series probably won't happen. But we do look like we're going to see some 40k stuff, which is fantastic. Okay. Again, like I said, a lot of the pitches would have been done at this point. Okay. That is to be given. This is how it starts. It always does. Now they're talking about it. Now, what really strikes me at this one is that they're talking with Amazon. They're talking together. Talking with each other, I should say. For the guidelines and what they can write. This is an interesting point because authors of the Black Library have often said that they don't actually get that much say in what they write about. They're pretty much told what to write about, and they're given guidelines themselves to write. So all those Black Library books you have been very much pre-produced and pre-written, or have this idea of what Games Workshop wants prior to it being written in its first place. Which is a good idea. I think that's great because they obviously want their license to remain solid and fundamental and have this strong foundation to the canon. And there are lots of contradiction and obviously differences. But that's just because if you have that many writers writing about a single subject, differences are going to appear even with restrictive guidelines. It's just what's going to happen. Also, we have a single production company. This is a good thing again because it means whereas Black Library has lots of different authors, and that's where you can get contradictions in, and differences in the law where it might be a bit silly. However, if it's a single production company, they have all the information. There's going to be nothing lost in translation between one film to the next or one series to the next. It can tie in quite nicely. Again, if we look, even though I don't like It Chapter 2, I don't think it's a good film, it does fit very well with It Chapter 1. It ties on quite nicely. It works very well as a sequel, which is great. And again, when they did Doctor Sleep, they tied it very well into the Jack Nicholson The Shining, which is good. Which means they do know how to follow something up with a different film, even one that is far removed from the original, from the prequel. There you go. And so the 12 months is great. I honestly think this is a good thing. I think this gives a lot of leeway to Amazon and allows Henry Cavill to really, Vertigo I should say, to really get into the lore and really study it and just pick out the points they want to pick out and they want to talk about. And they can have a good idea prior to production of what they want to do. A lot of pitching takes a couple of months. A lot of this pre-production, a lot of the ideas and that bit only takes a couple of months to get it written. And usually it's about 3 or 4 months, and then it's like, this is our pitch, and this is what we want to do, and that's it. And then pre-production starts. The pitches are done. There's our new point prior to pre-production where they're going to talk about what they can and can't do. So Games Workshop are going to leave a load of guidelines saying, look, you can do this. This is definitely good, and probably this is definitely bad. And it's going to be canon as well. Again, this is a good thing. I do think that is great. And everything about it is actually just that statement alone, which you can see on screen because I'm just leaving it on screen for the entire video. I do apologise. So you can read it, so it's there in front of you. And I think it's great. I think this is a good step. I think I'm actually getting excited for Amazon Prime now, especially after the Warhammer TV debacle. I think, honestly, I had it for a year. My girlfriend got it for me. And honestly, I ended up just reading the books more than anything else. I was just in Warhammer Vault all the time. I watched like 3 episodes, if that. And the only one that was really good was Iron Within. That was like the only one I really enjoyed. And of course, if we go to actual Games Workshop history with our own stuff, such as the Ultramarine movie and, like I said, Warhammer TV, it's never been that good. The Ultramarine movie's fun, it's cheesy, but if you to say it was good, it's not. It is not a good film. It's fun, it's cheesy, and that's it. And there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's the end of this video because I'm not going on any longer. I think I've said my piece. I'm happy with it. And I'll see you all again soon. Links down below for Wayland Games, of course. And there is Forbidden Planet as well. If you like Wayland Games, if you want to save money on your Warhammer, Forbidden Planet, if you want to read comics and stuff, and anime and everything like that. And of course there is my merchandise, cups, t-shirts, everything else, and of course my comics, which is all handwritten and hand-drawn by me. Everything. Thank you very much. Goodbye.